Hello everyone and welcome to another custom figure showcase. So I asked you on Twitter and Facebook, what TARDIS would you like to see next? The first Doctor TARDIS, the 8th Doctor TARDIS, or my custom audio series TARDIS? Well, as you might have guessed, my custom audio series TARDIS won. But don't worry, the first Doctor TARDIS and the 8th Doctor TARDIS will be coming later. But yes, this is my new audio series TARDIS exterior. The interior, which was teased as well, will be coming in future, but I've decided to make a few more updates, so I thought I'd do as a separate video my exterior version. Now, I'm going to try and put up a picture of the original exterior version. Now, the original version was basically my take on what a new series version of the first Doctor's TARDIS would look like. And I was really pleased with it. I really liked the look of it, and it looked great. But eventually I decided that I wanted to update my TARDIS and make it look a bit different. And it became, if I take this one away, this. Now this is actually the original version but redone. And so obviously you can see similarities to this between the one you've seen, but obviously this is a new series version. Now I don't want to give away too much to say why the appearance changes in the story, but out of story there was actually a reason for the update from this version to the new classic version. Now obviously this was the updated in-story version. However, it's always been my goal to build my own full-size TARDIS. And the problem was that by making my audio series TARDIS a new series version, it was significantly larger, and what it actually meant is the chances are that I would never have sufficient room to build it, because it would have been too tall. So I was umming and ahhing for ages thinking, well, what can I do? I could reduce the dimensions. So I thought if I reduce the dimensions then it won't look right. And then I started looking at some of my classic custom TARDISes. More specifically, my classic second Doctor TARDIS, which, if I bring this back in, is actually what this is. And I started looking at the classic TARDISes, and I just looked at the various different versions of them and the different styles that we've had over the years. And I realised that actually, I actually quite prefer this design. As an audio series TARDIS, I actually prefer this design because it looks significantly different to the previous one. But also, it means that I will actually be able to build this as a full-size version one day. And if I bring in, I should have left the other one there, if I bring in the previous one, you can see the size difference, you know, how significantly bigger this one is compared to this one. So that was really the out of universe, for lack of a better way of putting it, reason for updating my audio series TARDIS. Now, what I wanted to do for it was I wanted to have an overall classic TARDIS, obviously, which I've gone for, but I wanted something that had the size of the 4th Doctor's TARDIS, as it had that quite squat shape, which would have made it easier to make. But I didn't want it to have an entirely flat roof, so I basically looked at my different TARDISes, the different TARDIS designs, and I finally realised that actually the exact TARDIS shape I wanted was my second Doctor TARDIS, which was essentially my light blue. If you look at my TARDIS collections, or it might actually be up as a live from the workshop. I've done so many I forget. But anyway, you should be able to see it on my channel somewhere. And it basically was a light blue version that was very dirty and made to look very grubby. And so I thought, right, well, if I use that as a basis, it means that I can then I don't have to worry about redesigning, retaking apart, adding new bits to it, which I had to do to this previous new series version. So I literally took it apart and repainted it. And first of all, I hit on a snag in that when I started repainting it, I decided not to strip the old paint off first of all, and I started painting it, and the blue that I used was so thin that all of the grubbiness underneath was showing through, which obviously you can see here. And first of all, I looked at it and thought, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to completely strip it back and by that time it was very late in the day. I was very, very tired, and the paint was still wet, and I thought, well, I might as well just wait for it to dry. I can't be able to do any more tonight. So I went to bed. Next morning, wake up, and I'm presented actually with this. And I look at it and think, actually, it looks really good. And I really, really fell in love with the grubby design that shows through underneath the darker blue paint. And so once I'd added on some more sort of lighter scuff marks, and then I'd added on additional features such as the lighter blue signs, the contrast against the darker blue, and the light framing around the police box sign, which I know some people are slightly put off by, but I really like it. It just really jumped out at me, and all of a sudden I had in front of me something that was so familiar, but yet so different to anything else I'd seen. And, you know, I'm sure there are lots of other people who have thought of these ideas and come up with very, very similar designs. By no means am I the first person to do this, but I looked at this, and I looked at it, and the more I looked at it, the more I just thought, yes, that's it, that's the audio design. And I had so many more things I wanted to do. I mean, I originally planned to completely remodel the lamp. I was going to change the roof. I was going to have slightly thicker panels in the window frames. The signs actually were originally going to go back to black. This was going to stay blue, but these were going to go back to black. But I got it together like this, putting it together temporarily, thinking, right, I've got so much more to do it, and then I put it together, and I was like, that's it. It's less is more. I didn't need to do anymore. And so I was really, really pleased with how it's come out. And the best thing about it, as I previously said, is it now means that it will be so much easier for me to build this TARDIS as a full-size model, because looking at the dimensions of the props at the Doctor Who experience and looking at the dimensions of plans and things like that, obviously the classic TARDISes are significantly smaller, and so the way that this has been made and the way that I've not changed things like the roof and other things means that it will fit inside any decent sized room. And so whilst I'm still a very, very long way off of making a full-size version of this TARDIS, I now have exactly what I'm looking for, albeit in a smaller version. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how this has come out. It came out, I know I say I'm really pleased with how it's come out about most of my things, but this is one of those things that I've made it and it's come out so much better than I expected it to in the first place, partly because it's a classic example of you do things, you make a mistake. For example, I used the paint was too thin, and then it's come up like this, and it's perfect. It really is absolutely perfect. I really, really am pleased with it, because I couldn't have, if I tried to do it any better, I wouldn't have succeeded. I have succeeded by making mistakes, and it's worked very well. So yes, that is my updated TARDIS audio series TARDIS exterior. As I said, the interior will be coming soon. I've got to make a few small changes to it, a few updates. When I got it shipped over, there was a few minor bits that were damaged, but it was all very fixable. So yes, I am still working on that, and that video will be coming soon. But this is my new series, my TARDIS. I'm getting lost in my words now. This is my new version of my audio series TARDIS exterior. There we go. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot. And be sure to check out the description below for a link to my Patreon. It contains an exclusive webcomic and rewards for people who support it. And the funding generated by that helps me fund future videos, and also will help me one day make this a reality of being a full-sized TARDIS. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.